Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. Which video am I doing again? Anyways, we're gonna be talking about the new banner with Tifa and Lucia on it. It's the Christmas event one. I want to go over their builds, the wish list, where they work, where they don't work, if you need to go for it or not, depending on your account. But in the end, again, husbando waifu polls, do those first. It's a game. It'll shut down one day. You won't want to play it anymore because you got bored or just anything. So enjoy it while you have it. But we're gonna go into detail, especially when it comes to like just building characters compared to other characters, the front weapons, back weapons. I want to go into detail of that and then let you guys decide what a pull or skip is, because everyone counts as different. But I know you're feeling fatigue. I know there's a lot of banners. We just had 3 Final Fantasy 9 banners with amazing weapons on them, right? Costumes as well. And then we have this whole month-long grinding session. Plus now we have Christmas event starting in November. Even though it's almost December, it is a lot. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, you're not alone. So don't worry, take your time, have fun with the game, and just pull when you feel like pulling. Forget about meta. I'm going to talk about meta, but honestly, the game will shut down one day, or you'll get bored one day. So have fun while you are here and while you are playing. It's a game in the end. With that being said, let's jump in and let's deep dive into Lucia and Tifa builds. Alright, so I'm going to start off this video with the very quick, should you pull or not pull, depending where you are. If you're new to the game and you have no other costumes going on, you didn't get Ice Sephiroth, I think this is a great pull for you starting off, right? Other banners will be coming out. There is currently a Final Fantasy 9 crossover as well, so you might be wondering where do I go. Arcanium is one of the most powerful builds in the game, right? When you focus on a certain element and just boost that character to max as far as you can, that character can carry you through everything that doesn't resist its certain element. So Lucia here, if the enemy resists earth, you need something else. But if it doesn't resist earth, you can bring it in for pretty much anything. As long as you keep building up that earth potency as high as possible, you're going to do a ton of damage. Same thing with Tifa, Thunder Cloud, Water Cloud, right? Wind Sephiroth, Wind Aerith. Potency on elements are very powerful, and I've showcased that, and other people have talked about that. There's a JP player who has 2 maxed out versions, or many people actually, and they compare them back and forth, and elemental just keeps going and going and going, where your non-elemental damage caps eventually. So you can't go wrong with these banners, and I'm going to showcase why in just like build wise with my character compared to other stuff. All right, so now if you're someone who has Ice Sephiroth already, I don't think you should be going for this banner. Yeah, you can do the crazy team of Sephiroth, Tifa, and Lucia, and then anything that's ice is just going to get smashed really fast. You still need a healer in there, still need good HP, and you have to work on multiple sub-weapons for all these characters, main hand overboost, because you guys should be progressing. You should be focusing on a DPS and making them strong, and then work on the next one, right? If you just pull for every elemental package, you're going to have that generic elemental package. They're going to do good, but nothing's going to be great. Nothing's going to push you and carry you with that one DPS and then your second DPS and then fully max out your healer to be a DPS and healing, like Aerith with Umbrella and her Fairy Tail combo. If you overboost 6 or higher, those two, she's going to be used for so much things, right? But you guys should be focusing on a DPS. If you already have Sephiroth Ice build, don't pull on this banner, right? As much as you guys want to, you don't have to. Tifa's weapon is not going to complement Sephiroth. It's a physical, right? It doesn't add magic ice. If it added magic ice, I'm like, oh yeah, pull for this. And don't forget, these banners are for costumes, not for the weapons. These weapons aren't limited like the Final Fantasy 9 banner, so you can wishlist all these weapons later on. And obviously during polls, wishlist is not guaranteed, so it's always good to pull for the banner. So in 6 stamps, you get a weapon, right? Versus like, oh, maybe the wishlist will choose the one I want, right? So that's why I'm saying with how many blue crystals we have and how many characters there is and all the different potencies, once you get an Arcanium build, work on that character. And here's an example why, right? Every time I did a poll, every time I got tickets, I was hoping that my cloud would get worked on, right? So I wish list my first DPS. Now that cloud's at this point, I'm going to go work on Sephiroth now. So when I pull, my wish list will have Sephiroth weapons on there, along with whatever else I'm pulling for, right? To complement it. So here's the stats of a cloud, free play account by the way, 6,000 HP, 3,248 attack, and then we come into the abilities, And I got lightning potency at level 6, which is 70% increase. Plus his Arcanum costume is another 35%, which applies, all this applies to Ramu, all this lightning damage. And we got that boost attack plus 5, making him super, super strong. His sub weapons are all lightning element on there, along with whatever increases his HP, his damage, boost attack. And I'm explaining this with the Lucia build and the Tifa build, but you should be honing down on a DPS. Spreading your resources everywhere is hard to overboost 6 sub weapons and the main hand weapon and the offhand weapon. You know what I mean? That's a lot to do on multiple characters. So unless you're swiping or you're ridiculously lucky, you've got to hone down on a character. And that's what these poor skip videos are. And they're kind of like a build video as well. So here's an example of what happens when you hone down on a character. So don't go like, yeah, Sethro, Tifa, Lucia in a team, so much ice damage. You still got to work on all their stuff. 1, 2, plus 3 in the back. That's 5 weapons. 5 weapons have to be overboost 6 on 3 different characters. That's a lot of blue crystals and a lot of RNG. So when you're doing these builds, you're looking to complement it. I'm going to explain why you should be going for physical, boost attack, and the element all together. But try to hone down, try to go into one category with the character and boost them. Work on that healer, boost them. Work on your DPS, boost them. Work on the next DPS. And then there, you start dabbling. All right, with all that being said, let's jump in and just talk about the character. Costume looks fantastic, right? They did a great job here. Gloves, top tier. It's all damage, 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 right? Just base level 90. Potency isn't the greatest. You can use like Cloud's Shiva weapon and it has more damage on it. But that's where it doesn't matter because these are going to get overboosted eventually and your goal is to get overboost 6, which pushes us at 34 points for physical attack and 24 points in ice potency. Main hand, tons of damage. Its sigil break is circle and it's got 20% for materia slots here. Overall, great weapon, huge stats, physical attack 525. Right? Even at level 90, all the R abilities are great. Costume goes along with it, having that 35% increase in ice potency and physical boost plus 5. This is the key factor to completing these builds because that last 5 points is very necessary. When you have this weapon in your main hand at level 90, you're getting 24 points, right? You want to get this stat specifically to 55, and that's what makes Cloud so powerful, is that his weapons have the boost attack. Sephiroth has that boost magic attack. It's one of the biggest increases to your damage because getting this at 55 points increases your physical attack by 50%. So if you have naturally 2000 minus this 55 R ability, you're going to get 50% of that, which is boosting your attack to 3000. That's where you start pushing your characters. So having this maxed out on your main hand is really good, and that's why the costume is so important. On top of the 35%. So, why is this important when it comes to building Tifa? Because you should be wishlisting these Arcanium characters and working on their sub-weapons and their offhand. There's 2 case scenarios here. Case number 1, you're going to face an enemy who's weak to ice, which means that the Bald Eagle is necessary for 2 teams, but you've got to realize that your offhand, like Tifa's 2 gloves, have to work differently here. If Bald Eagle is being able to use for the ice resist down, Tifa has to wear Motor Drive because Motor Drive will complete the build for physical attack, right? So you're going to get 16 points here. You're going to get that 34 points eventually from Tifa's main hand. So you'll have either this right now plus the 16, putting you to 40 plus the costume 45. So you're missing 10 physical attack. But like once you start overboosting this, you're going to be at 34 plus a 16 for Motor Drive, pushing you to 50. And then the costume gives you the last 5. So you'll have 55 physical attack at overboost 6 where you should be aiming for eventually, giving you the perfect setup in the front if the enemy's weak to ice, because Lucia will be on the team to lower that ice resist down because it's huge damage if you do. Now let's face an enemy who's not weak to ice, they're just neutral, and again, if you work on a potency character of an element, you can use them for everything, right? So in that case, you want to run Sonic Strikers because you're going to need that other R ability, which is boost attack, because you will be putting this best in slot Bald Eagle in the back. So her new gloves in the front, and then Bald Eagle, even at level 90, will give you 16 points. So again, 34 points plus the 16 points putting you to 50 plus a costume 55. So Bald Eagle is one of the best wishlist items for her, regardless if it's being used on Lucia or being used on her for everything else. Great, great weapon. And then because in both case scenarios, motor drive, I'm looking at it over here, sorry if I'm blocking it, motor drive, and this completes their 55 into your physical attack R ability. Now you want to continue to work on your ice potency while increasing the next R ability, which is boost attack. So now you want to get this to 55 for another 25% on top of it with a bonus of 50. It's spread between physical and magical, but don't forget this works for your limit break, so your Shiva will benefit from both these boosts. So it works out really good that it should be your second thing to go for while going for ice potency. Ice potency and your physical attack are the most important, and then start boosting other things. So Cloud's Enhanced Sword, fully maxed out, 36 points, ice potency, 40 into boost. It's on a sub slot, so you only get 20 and 18. And then you get another 20 and 18 from over here. Overboost 6, right? Or just even if you don't have overboost, you see that. But like eventually, this is what you're aiming for. Fully maxed out characters back in front. Like this is after. You should just do overboost 6 for main weapons, sub weapons on all your characters, and then work on that later on. But yeah, so that's the goal. These are really good 1, 2, 3 weapons to have in the back. And then the last one should be like a survivability with ice potency, because you're going to have enough boost attack. Or if you need more damage, then anything that's in your arsenal that has the boost attack on it, right? If you can't get more ice potency, increase whatever R ability is not maxed out. So that's a really good wish list right over here to work on Tifa, and also giving Lucia some love because she works really well in that team. Now, don't get me wrong, Tifa is going to be a main DPS if you make her main DPS. Doesn't mean you need Motor Drive and Sonic Strikers. It's not the end all, because you could bring in healing, you can bring in defense down, right? She's got all that utility. Also, if you pulled for the new Final Fantasy IX weapon, Amaranth's Claws, you can put that as our secondary weapon and forget about Motor Drive and Sonic Striker. Especially because Sonic Striker doesn't give the biggest boost to your boost attack. An offhand that's only 8 points, even fully maxed out. This weapon is only going to give you 13. Yeah, 13 points, which is not big. But compared to everything else has HP, healing, protection for R ability wise. But don't forget there is tons of utility on her. But usually if she's your main DPS, you want her to be the main DPS and someone else takes care of all the other debuffs, right? So that's a Tifa build. Whatever you guys have overboosted, like if you have a crazy overboost 6 weapon, you're going to slap that in there instead of one of these weapons. Because if you don't have these guys overboosted, this build I'm talking about doesn't make any sense, but this is what you should be planning for. So I know there's going to be like, oh, but I have this, so just put that in. Yes, your attack's going to go up by 300 attack. Use that. Forget about the ice potency, right? If you don't have these overboosted, it hurts, and that's why I say hone down and work on a character. So this is just suggestions. This doesn't mean like, oh, I have to use this because this is best in slot. It's best in slot once they start overboosting, right? If you have a crazy physical weapon, you slap that. You put that in that build. Now we come to Lucia's build. I think the better character here is Tifa, and it's nice that Earth build is here, but a lot of you guys, same idea. You probably skip for Prism Rod, Aerith, because you're like, she's my healer, right? She's not a DPS. No, it was very powerful, right? That was Earth potency. This is, that was Wind potency. Now we have an Earth potency. The thing with building Lucia is that Earth isn't really established in this game as much as Ice is, as much as Thunder is, and other elements because of the sub-weapons. And there is a lack of summons as well. Summons isn't the end-all break-all. Obviously you can do other things, but it does help these builds a lot. So, same thing with Tifa. Looking at Lucia here, she is a magic damage dealer with the R abilities of boost magic attack and boost earth potency. Great back materia slot, and she's got circle break, right? So overall, again, amazing weapon. You're aiming for overboost 6 when it comes to these Arcanium builds, and that's just amazing stats. Costume complemented, and same idea with Tifa. The 5 boost is very important, and 35% increase of earth. The problem is, and it's not really a problem, if you pull for this and you make this character is going to be strong, right? But the reason I say Tifa's better is because let's go into building Lucia now. Now we run into an issue because Lucia, her build is so much harder to get that big damage you want from these Arcanium builds, right? Obviously, you can mix whatever sub-weapons you want, making characters powerful, but let's just talk about Lucia herself and what she can do for the main hand and offhand, just like we talked about Tifa. Here's her arsenal. This is a magic build. We need magic boosting stuff. Looking at her R abilities, you are going to main hand the new weapon, and then you need something for the offhand. You're like, oh, cool. All right, here we go. Barn Swallow. Besides the benefits of what it does, sigil breaking, diamond, and all that, or whatever that looks like for you guys, that very unique one, it looks good, but maxing this weapon out is only 27 points into boost magic attack, and then after that, there is no other boost magic attacks. So you're going to run to, all right, maybe something in the backhand will give me what I need. Yes, so here's the backhand. Glenn's weapon is one of her best in slots for sub-weapon, right? It gives boost magic attack and boost earth potency, complementing her build. So in the front, you'll have Lucia's new weapon. In the sub-weapons, you're going to have boost magic attack, 17 points. That 17 plus her main hand new weapon is 50 points in magic attack, and then her costume gives you 55. So that completes it. With that in mind, let's go back to working on her main hand. What do we do now to complement this? Well, there's going to be 3 weapons which are going to be your best in slots for her. If you were around for this event, Vivi's Magical Gun, it gives you boost attack, not a lot, but good stats at level 90. Hey, thanks for the follow on Twitch. At level 90, 410 magic attack, right? That's 205 put into your overall, and then you get boost attack 27 points divided by half as well, making this a great choice. If you weren't here for the event, the other best choice for free weapons is the Leviathan weapon. Has 24, which is 12 points, and it's got boost magic attack of 453. Divide that in half, right? Now, if you don't have these 2 weapons worked on or fully leveled up, the other option is her pulse gun, because you're looking for the rest of that R ability. Boost magic attack 463, and you get 20 points eventually, or realistically, over boost 6, 17 points here, right? Because Glenn's weapon and her main hand complement the magic attack already. Besides that, Lucia, HP, different things we don't need. Mad Minute is a physical, not a magical stance, right? This has healing on it. This has physical on it. We already talked about this, so you see what happens here. And yeah, sure, V39 can be an option too. If you max this out fully, 27 points, which is a lot of resources for only half of that, right? Or like this free one or Leviathan weapon already does it just by farming the game. You don't have to spend your blue crystals. Now, when we talk about earth potency in the back, these are all the earth potency weapons, and more than half of them is defense, HP. If you want to build your earth potency and have it really high, because that's what you should be aiming for, you're going to have a tanky Lucia who has really good earth potency. So when it comes to her wish list, it's a little bit more complicated. You probably can use this opportunity to just pull to complement your other DPS or weapons you're missing for utility wise, right? Or completing someone that's over boost 6 main hand weapons. But a good wish list here is Barrett's weapon that has that earth potency, does have magic defense up, and that's very powerful. Having that on a character means you need way less HP, so that's a good pickup. Glenn's weapon, I think, definitely put it in there. And if you do Glenn's weapon plus her new weapon, you're looking for boost attack, right? Other option is Red 13's because it boosts good HP and earth potency, so survivability. Air's weapon doesn't have as much HP, so it's the last choice. And then obviously, if you're doing the Glenn weapon in the back with her main hand, this is the one that you're going to put on her offhand eventually because it has more than those free weapons, right? Right here is 17 points compared to the other weapons with 12 points, and eventually, somewhere down the line, 20 points, right? Works for every character. But what you can do instead is Sephiroth's weapon gives both boost attack and it gives boost ability potency, and then same thing with Barrett's, right? So you can put these two in the back if you're just trying to work on Lucia because she's your favorite and you want her to be the best Earth. This has the boost attack, which she's missing, and boost ability potency. So over boost 6, 17 points, plus the over boost 6 Sephiroth weapon, 34 points, plus her offhand weapon, right? Given that extra there, you're getting close to 55 with that, while also having the attack stance. So these two weapons, Barrett's weapon and Sephiroth's weapons, are good choices. Plus, they work on their characters as well, or just overall for any character that needs that rest of that boost attack. So you'd go Glenn weapon in the back, Barret, Sephiroth for just pure damage. No survivability, but obviously you're going to want survivability and HP up, so Red 13's collar, really good, right? Or you need magic defense. So a pretty decent wish list, but realistically, because there really isn't that earth potency with attack boost on it, you can do whatever you want with this one. These are just options to make it just that much stronger. You could put in like Aerith's umbrella, because you're not going to have all these weapons over boost 6. So that has that magic attacks with magic attack stance. It's good, but that's like whatever you guys have, you fill in the rest, because you're not going to have overboost 6 Barret weapon, overboost 6 Glenn weapon. So put whatever's your strongest magic setup back there, and then kind of work on the earth potency. But I would say Glenn's weapon is definitely something you should pull for when it comes to Lucia. All right, so all that being said, again, in the end of the day, up to you, pull what you want, right? You can spread it all over the place where you're going with, oh, I have all these element coverages, and that's good too. But I do think at some point you guys should start progressing, start overboosting characters to really complement that. So when a character's banner comes out, like Cloud's Final Fantasy IX, I went for the Zidane sword while also getting his wish list. So I focus on the banner that that character has, because they're already worked on a lot. So let me know what you guys are going for down below. Let me know what you want and what you're looking forward to. And hopefully whatever you guys are pulling for, you get it. Good luck on all your pulls and everything else. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.